I'm back with another tutorial, and today is a very crazy design. It's not that crazy, like I always say, it's so easy once I break it down into steps, so it might seem a little intimidating and a lot for you guys, but yeah, once I break it down, you guys will feel like you guys can do it too. So yeah, this is gonna be a full tutorial, and we're gonna be doing gel extensions. And the reason I decided to do this design is because I have a photo shoot coming up, actually today. So I did it a few days ago in preparation of today. As always, all the links and all the products are down below on my description and on my Amazon storefront, so go check that out. And without further ado, let's get started with the tutorial. For those of you who have been watching my channel, my videos for a while, you guys know that I've been trying to grow out my natural nails for the longest time, and that's why I have some builder gel on them to protect them. So we're gonna start by removing and debulking the nail. So I'm going in with my Gel-X removal bit. I like to go in with this carbide bit because it just makes the removal so quick. I go at a speed of like 26 or 27,000 RPMs because I am doing it on the natural nail. Usually I would go max speed, but I'm a bit more careful because it's just builder gel, it's not extensions. And I'm just swiping the e-file down, going against the direction of the drill rotation. I do want to mention that this video, I feel like I'm catering more to the regular Gel-X girlies, so girls who do their nails often at home. You guys already know the beginner steps to Gel-X, so I'm not gonna mention all the details about my e-file, how to use an e-file. I am sure you guys know, please don't go at a high speed if this is your first time using a drill bit or a drill in general. So please be careful with any equipment you use and do your research. If you guys want to see more beginner friendly tutorials, there is tons of videos on my channel. I'll link some down below so you guys can easily access them. Anyways, that being said, I do want to give you guys a quick tip. If you experience heat spikes or burns whenever you do this step of debulking or using an e-file on your nails, then the reason for that is because you're going over one area of your nail bed way too many times with the drill. As you can see in the video, I'm constantly moving my e-file sideways and up and down to not go over one area more than 3 times. And you guys can always come back to that area that you're wanting to debulk. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that is an easy explanation. And this whole removal process took around 5 to 6 minutes. I used to take around a good 30 minutes to debulk, builder gel, or just remove any kind of extensions. And it would probably be my least favorite step because of how much it hurt and how tedious it is, and it takes so much time. But now it's become one of my favorite things because I have such a good drill bit. And trust me, guys, the carbide bit really does help. Now I'm gonna be switching out my drill bit to a 240 grit sanding band. These sanding bands are my favorite because they're just so gentle, and I'm gonna go at a speed of like 5,000 RPMs and buff the whole nail, go in every single corner and smoothen out the nail, as well as adding texture. This really helps with retention. A lot of people like to use buffers to buff the nail and add texture, but I find that that isn't usually enough. It doesn't go into all the corners. It doesn't buff as well as the sanding band. So if you've been struggling with your nails popping off or nails lifting, then maybe try to use a sanding band instead, and make sure to give it really good texture so that the gel can really grip onto something. So the next step is cuticle prep, and this step is optional, but I do find that it really helps with your Gel-X sets lasting longer because you're basically removing all the dead skin off of your nail plate and your nail, like your cuticle area. So I'm gonna start by going in one direction with my cuticle bit and then lifting all that dead skin up, and you guys can see all the little white flakes that are coming off. Those are basically dry dead skin that was stuck on the nail plate. Whenever you do this step, make sure that you're kind of pushing back the cuticle with the tool and not digging into your nail. You really want to avoid causing any kinds of ring of fire before. I don't know if you guys have seen those online. It happens a lot with just drilling too much. And now I'm gonna switch the rotation of the e-file to go in the other direction so I can make sure to get everything underneath and everything lifted up so it's easy to nip the skin off. So when nipping, you want to be careful not to nip your actual skin, but rather just dead tissues that are stuck on the nail or stuck on your cuticle. And I can differentiate where it's live skin, like live tissue, and dead skin by just looking at the color of my cuticle. And again, like I said before, every cuticle is different, so you need to get to know your cuticles and practice a lot. And sometimes you're gonna be nipping a little too much and you might bleed. That happens. Just make sure to sanitize it and make sure that the skin kind of heals before you put any gel on. But I think once you get the hang of this step, you're gonna see a big difference in how clean your sets look and how long they last. And this has easily become one of my favorite steps because it's just so satisfying to see the before and after of your crusty cuticles. So the last step of prep is to spray and drench my hand in sanitizing alcohol to get rid of all the dust and all the oils that are left on the nail plate. And I'm going in with this cuticle brush to go in all the corners and brush it. After that, we're gonna go in with a dehydrator or a pH bond, and we're gonna apply that all over the nail plate to really make sure that it's dehydrated. And the goal here is to make it look super dry and super crusty, and that's how you know that the gel is gonna last so long. Then I'm going in with a thin layer of gel nail glue or base coat, whichever one works. You just need a very thin layer of whatever type of gel to grip onto the nail as a base. And I'm very tedious with this step. I like to keep my base clean, and I feel like the foundation of the nail really matters on the outcome of how clean it looks. So I go in very far into the nail, almost touching the cuticle but not. For this layer of gel, I'm gonna cure my whole hand for 60 seconds and then going in with my Gel-X Appraise extensions. I'm using the Long Almond Sculpted, I think. I find that sizing and shaping is one of the most important things when it comes to the aesthetic of your nail. If it's too big, it tends to look unnatural, and if it's too small, that's going to cause a lot of liftings. So it's really crucial to find the perfect size that fits sidewall to sidewall. And I'm also going in with my sanding band to buff the inside of the extension to do the same thing that I did to my nail and add some texture so that the nail glue can grip onto it. So now I'm going in with my gel nail glue and applying a lot of Extend Gel because I have long natural nails and the gel nail glue has to reach all the way to the top. So I'm applying a lot more than usual. And I'm gonna cure under that lamp for 25 seconds each finger, and then I'm gonna cure the whole hand for 60 seconds. One advice, if you guys have long natural nails like I do, then I recommend curing first the nail bed area and then moving your finger over, pressing the nail bed area, and then curing the tip. I don't know if that made sense, but you guys can re-watch the video. Anyways, now I'm going in with my sanding band again and adding texture all over the extensions, blending the cuticle area where I applied the extensions into the natural nail so they look like seamlessly one together. And I feel like this is the key trick to make them look like super realistic extensions, like they almost look like they're growing out of your nail. I don't know, that's just one of my favorite things to do, is to make it look super natural. And you guys can see how I'm going around the cuticle to blend that in. And now it's time for shaping, and I'm gonna go for like a skinny almond. I feel like the appraise extensions, these ones tend to be more sharper, like a stiletto almost. I don't know why they call it an almond because it looks like a stiletto. After shaping, I'm gonna go in with my buffer to make sure that the corners, the edges are super smooth and rounded. And basically that's it for the Gel-X application part. You just want to make sure everything's smooth and seamless and blend it in together. And now we're going to spray some alcohol to sanitize again. I like to sanitize almost every step of the way because I just love my nails looking clean and dry. And look at that. That is the perfect application. And now we're gonna go in with the design, and I'm going in with base coat before adding any kind of base color. I feel like this is the most debated topic. I don't know if it's necessary to put a base coat, but I always like to put a base coat. And we're gonna cure that for a full 60 seconds. And I'm going in with the Beetles Builder Gel as usual. I've mentioned this in my other video, but the reason I like to use the Builder Gel for base is because it just gives that more luxurious, sturdy look that acrylics usually provides. And Gel-X usually seems to look a little flimsy and like cheap and see-through. And I really don't like that look of like that cheap plastic look, so I really like to go in with some thick builder gel to give it the strength and sturdiness and shape. And this technique does take a lot of practice, I think, but it's definitely worth it because you're getting a salon quality result at home. And the Beetles Builder Gel works amazing. It kind of like self-balances, so you don't need to do much with the brush. You just have to flip your hand over after rebalancing the gel, and then just wait for gravity to do its thing. Or I like to help the gel a little bit because I don't like to wait so long. And checking the smoothness with the reflection, I'm gonna put it into the lamp. So again, what you do first is apply the gel evenly throughout the whole nail and make sure that you're not touching the skin or the cuticle. And once that layer is even, I'm not going to cure that layer. I'm just going to grab a bunch more builder gel from the bottle and push it slowly back to the cuticle to kind of give it that perfect shape. And then I'm going to slowly drag that builder gel down to the nail. And if you didn't apply enough, don't worry, you can always apply more, or if you applied too much, you can always take away the gel. And I'm going to make sure to even out the gel throughout the nail with my thin liner brush. And once you get it all over the side and center and drag it down, you're going to flip over your hand so that the gravity can help you center that gel and create that perfect apex. So now that the base is all ready, we're gonna go into design. I'm going in with my blooming gel and applying a thin layer on the pinky. I'm just gonna start with a design that's the easiest to do, and which is this one. I love any kind of blooming gel technique because of how easy it is. Once you've put that layer on, do not cure that layer. You're just gonna be dotting some black gel down the center of the nail and also the sides. And you can really just freestyle this. You can add more dots or less dots. And the more time goes by, the blooming gel is gonna spread that black gel and make it bloom. And once you like it like that, you can put it immediately into the lamp. I don't like to wait too long. Give it like 3 or 4 seconds and then I put it into the lamp. For the ring finger, I'm gonna go in with a thin layer of matte top coat, cure that for 60 seconds, and once that's mattified, I'm gonna go in with some Model 1's black gel and start on the design. I don't really know how to explain how to do this. I'm just kind of drawing a circle around the nail and then adding some texture on top, and we're gonna end up chroming this one, and I'll just let you guys watch this. So this is quite important. You want to grab a non-wipe icing gel or hard gel, and then you guys can top coat it. Something on the top has to be non-wipe for the chrome to be sticking, so just keep that in mind. And using this icing gel, I'm just gonna kind of freestyle this, but go around that line and rough up the line a little bit. I don't want it to look too uniform. I want it to look very edgy and yeah, imperfect a little bit. So I'm just adding that 3D effect all around the nail. Now, once everything is cured, you can go in with your chrome powder, and I'm trying to use every bit of my silver chrome before I move on to the next package. But you just really have to just rub it in properly and dust off the excess powder. And now I'm going in with this sage green color. It's almost like a light matcha green. It's really pretty. It reminds me of spring, and I'm gonna do a simple Frenchy design. My French line wasn't as perfect. I'll just go in with some acetone and a brush and clean up the line. This hack has saved me so many times. And I'm gonna make sure to go in with this French color twice so it's fully pigmented, and I'm gonna cure that as well. I decided that I wanted to fully seal and top coat the ring finger and pinky while they're still out there. So I'm just adding some iridescent like diamonds onto the ring finger, and I'm also adding those tiny little silver balls and diamonds on the pinky, and I'm going in with the turquoise top coat to top coat everything. I just want to do this to make sure that I don't mess up the design while I work on the other fingers. And these padding gels I got from Shein, and I'm trying it out for the first time today. I have heard about them all over social media, and I wanted to test them out myself. So I grabbed a sponge and this tool to kind of pat the gel on the nail to create an aura design. And to be honest, I was really surprised with how pigmented it was. I don't really like the pasty texture of it. I don't know if you guys can see. If you look very closely, it's a little bit like clay. It has a very rough texture to it. Anyways, now I'm going in with some white gel and creating that same design I did on the ring finger, but just a line. And that's it for the index. I also forgot to film the middle finger where I did a flower pattern. It's really easy to do with the white gel. And then using the same padding tool, I'm going to pat the inside of the flower. And I'm just adding some dots to make it look like a real flower and kind of make it more realistic. And for the thumb, I'm doing this corset design. I don't really know what this design is called. I saw it on TikTok and I also saw it on Pinterest. And I thought it was really cute, so I'm just doing that with some black gel. I felt like this hand needed a little bit more popping colors, dark colors like black, so for that thumb, I ended up adding a small diamond in the middle, and for the index, I'm also adding those details that I want, especially the diamonds. I feel like for this set I really wanted to look shiny, matching the silver. And now I'm top coating everything with the turquoise top coat. I recommend top coating the chrome designs twice because they tend to chip sometimes if it's just one coat of top coat. So that's my recommendation and advice to you guys. So after top coating, make sure to always apply some cuticle oil to moisturize your hands and give them some love. And this is it for the tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.